right. Black Box Radio. We have Bo the model. Say hi to the people.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Bo the Dawn, Bo the model. You know the vibes.
Love it. Sounding suave, Bo.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, we kind of know what you do, but tell the people what you do in the community.
Wow. Okay. So, wow, this is great.
Like, what do you do? You're a model. I hear that.
I am a model. However, I've been very much active in the community of Baltimore since middle school. Just kind of getting in where I fit in as far as a mentor to young people. I can't even say young women anymore because I've touched a couple young men, and I'm proud of that because they need love too. With different organizations. One of my favorites, even though I shouldn't have favorites, but I do. Girls Expecting More Success under the leadership of Officer Covington, which is like family to me at this point. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
That's excellent. Girls Expecting More Success. I've never heard that. We got to expound on that. That's excellent. Okay. And you model.
Yes. My passion, my love.
That's your passion, your love. And do you model locally? Or are you in Paris, Milan?
So I was going to say, I'm now national. I'm a national model now. We are headed towards, after the pandemic decides that it's going to let us live, we are striving for international supermodel status, and that is what it will be, because that's what I'm working for. But yes, I've modeled up and down the East Coast, and I touched down on the West Coast just before Rona came and interrupted things.
I know that. It's interrupted everything. So when it comes to model, you have not done any gigs or anything in this time?
No.
Shut down.
Yeah, yes. Very much so.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Do you have a professional job that you do also, or?
I do. Before all of this, I was a sales associate at Nordstrom's.
Excellent. Okay. So, and how is that faring? Because Nordstrom's not open. Is it open?
No. So the only thing that's operating right now for Nordstrom's is their curbside pickup as far as, contact. It's contactless technically, but there are some people that are in the building just making sure that customers are getting their orders and things like that because, people are still very much ordering things.
Yes.
But as far as sales associates, we are very much at home.
So are you saying that COVID-19 has taken 100% of your income?
No, not quite, because I was blessed enough to have an opportunity from the company that the agency that I worked for while I was in LA, and was able to get some things moving as far as the influencer side of me modeling up and running. So no, I've been blessed, quite frankly, in the situation.
Oh, okay. Like to hear that. So you created another stream for yourself.
Yes, ma'am. One thing about me, I've been working since technically before I could even work. I've always had that work ethic in me. And so something like a pandemic, it shook me up, but it wasn't going to knock me out. So
you went in the lab and you said, I got to create something. Because it's real out here. And,
absolutely.
And they can send you 1,200, but I promise you that's going to be gone quick. I promise you.
Especially mess around with somebody like me. I want a new wig,
So people like, I'm waiting for my check. That's to come up, but it's going to come right on down quickly. So you got to really create something, or you have to be very resourceful in these times. It's really uncertain. It's real uncertain. So have you looked in, because you are creative, when they open those doors, what you going to do first? What you jumping on?
Well, let me be honest. I've been thinking about it really, really heavily because, still keeping safety in mind, right? Because I'm very much a reader when it comes to current events and just making sure that I know as much fact as possible. And honestly, depending on what designers and photographers are willing to work, that's kind of how I'll go forth. For now, I was supposed to be running for the Miss Maryland title this year, after my run from 2 years ago for the teen title. So that is kind of up in the air right now to see what the Miss Universe Association is how they're gonna handle it. So just really following up with my fellow creatives to see what we want to do as a community, because without one another, we really don't have much.
Wow. So you would go into pageantry, like pageants.
Yeah, my first time running was in 2018.
I don't know what it is. Is it called pageantry or pageantry?
Yeah, I mean, it's right. That's right.
Yeah,
it just sounded funny. The way you said it sounded funny. That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead, Bo. You see how you coming from?
So that was my very first experience. I never did it before. But it just was one of those things where I saw it and I said, why not me? And so I went and I applied and I ended up being pulled as a state finalist.
Wow.
And then things became very real. I was like, oh, like they chose me. So yes. I kind of buckled in and took the experience for what it was. It was absolutely amazing. I fell in love with just pretty much the premises of how it works. It was everything that I had been doing put in one place. So I was literally living my ultimate fantasy in a way. I ended up leaving with being able to be the only teen representative from the city, and I won Best Gown for my first time. And I formed some great relationships from that pageant as well, because, living in the city, I've lived in the city my whole life. And so being able to meet other young women from, the outer skirts of Maryland was also a good experience as well. So running for the Miss title this year was really exciting for me.
Okay. And like living in the city, you're talking about the Baltimore city, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we got to make sure the world, because
the one and only
international, Bo. We got to tell them people where you at.
The one and only.
The one and only bbR.
Okay,
right. So what would you? So we got to get in your little business a little bit. So where is the talent of your pageantry?
So it's so funny. So the Miss Universe Association doesn't have a talent portion, but the Miss America Association does. And I had started. I started getting certain DMs, about trying the Miss America Association, because I have an appreciation, as they say, for the English language, meaning I'm a good talker. I'm well spoken, if you will. But if I were to have a piece for the talent portion, it would be dance. Dance was how I started my love for the performing arts in the first place. I was dancing for 12 years. I danced competitively and I studied a solid 5 different genres. So
what's your favorite?
Ooh. It probably contemporary. Yeah, contemporary will probably be my favorite, just because of the emotion that's in the movement, and because I'm long, I've always been able to have the advantage to really articulate what it is that I wanted people to see and convey from the dance.
Look at you listening on 4 syllables. Killing us on here. Killing the game. I love it. Beautiful and smart. That's unstoppable. I told you that. Remember we talked about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very much important.
Very much. So you got to have them. That's that 2-piece. You got to have that 2-piece. So yeah, you're more than beauty. You're intelligent. What you laughing at?
I don't know.
So
that's 2-piece. I guess
that's 2-piece, right, Bo? That's beautiful.
It's a right hook and a left hook. You feel me? You gotta come hard.
That's right.
It's so funny because I actually was smart before I was pretty. I was very much shy and very timid.
Did you go through an awkward phase?
I lied to you not, G, okay? It wasn't until my junior year in high school when I actually started to consider what I look like to other people. I always looked decent, and I always had a sense of style. But as far as thinking about it, please. I always used to tell people, like, I'm smart.
You know how they do in those movies where they just put glasses on a chick, and then, all they do is take the glasses off her, and it's like, look at her,
right. And in a sense, that was exactly what happened with me.
Really?
Messed around, got some contacts, took some braces off, and then it was on.
Wow,
that's amazing. Because I remember when I first saw you, and you were beat down. No, beat
Yes,
up.
ma'am.
Lashes. I said, wow. So, and I spoke to you, and we talked a little, and I said, wow, she's beautiful and she's smart. That's what I thought immediately.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I love
You
good
are so
energy.
well spoken.
Good
Yeah.
energy being reciprocated is always something that I take into account when meeting new people, and so I definitely felt it, if not, heard it. So it was appreciated.
And I
So
you hitting us. Oh, I'm sorry. She hit us again, G, with that reciprocate. She killing me with that.
She's not killing me.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what you look like, but I'm just curious. I hear Queen mentioning it, and I'm just going to pose the question because perhaps, do you get that people don't expect you to be smart based on your appearance? Is that something that you battle? Because, like I said, I don't have any idea what you look like. I'm assuming based on what you do, but
she put it.
But I'm just curious: do people underestimate you, or do they have a preconception about you because of your appearance?
G, it really depends on the room that I'm in sometimes. Sometimes people already have the expectation that I'm bringing it all. And a lot of times it's always when I'm in a room for modeling, when people just kind of expect it. I've come to accept that I have an air about myself that just automatically lets people know that you cannot pull the wool over my eyes. But when I started to get back into my outreaches and I started getting back into my community leadership and YPD and create my own LLC, sometimes I do have to get up on my high horse a little bit and really hunker down and let people know.
Right, drop some syllables on them.
Just a little bit, real humbly, you know what I mean? Because it's not about intimidation, but I have had moments where I've had to command my respect back a little bit because people have underestimated me. And again, because I am still relatively quiet, I'm not very outspoken. I just come strong when I do speak. So sometimes it's a mixture of being pretty and soft spoken at the same time before you ask me something and then you get the right hook and the left hook. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You get the business.
Yeah, you get
exactly.
The business. That's what's up. That's a great question, dude. Oh, that's what's up. Okay, so when it comes to at this point in time, what is your thought processes as we move forward in COVID-19? Like for Baltimore, because you said you were in the community, and I really want to hear about this girl's success, but I'm gonna leave that alone. That's another conversation. But when it comes to community, because I've seen so much greatness in the community right now, Bo.
Absolutely.
People are feeding people. People are loving on each other. It is unfortunate we had to go through this, but maybe going through this will make us now create these relationships that will sustain time, because we've seen some real love with Black folk.
Yeah.
And I love it. So what do you think? How can we kind of bottle this up and go and move it forward in the community? How can we keep this going?
Honestly, I think there's two sets of people, right, in the community that I've noticed lately, and there are those who have been doing this before the pandemic and those who are coming to the realization that there was a need for this before the pandemic. And those who are coming to the realization, I think, are having a greater appreciation for it. And I think that now we're starting to have that merge that we needed, that educational experience that we needed, to now really amp up on our resources and start to cultivate those resources so that they're not only here now in a crisis, but here after. Because quite frankly, our city was already in a crisis prior to a pandemic. This really just didn't make matters worse in our case. So I really just think it's all about the cultivation and the consistency of what it is that's going on in different parts of our beloved city.
That is so true. And you're right. I see you said it's two people, the people before and the people who are new. And it seems like they're getting alliances.
Yes.
And then you can move those alliances forward. I really see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that's what we needed. And sometimes you need this type of reset for us to see what we really need. And that's right in front of us, actually, because all this has always been here.
This is what I'm saying. We were pretty much already in a crisis,
Absolutely. Yep. And it's so sad throughout this pandemic, they're still killing each other.
Yeah.
have murders going on. I mean, it's really sad, but I don't think it's as prevalent as it was before, but it's still happening.
Unfortunately, what still has to be addressed and taken care of is the problems that those who are doing these terrible things are still going through what they were going through. Quite frankly, a pandemic is the last thing on their mind when they have their own issues and their own situation that they were dealing with prior to, and a lot of it comes from not only ignorance, but just the simple fact that they're living a different life that a lot of us don't really know about. Battling those so-called, quote unquote demons is how they refer to them. So it is a sad state of affairs. However, I definitely have faith in our city because we are full of potential here, and I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've been in rooms full of it, and I definitely think we are headed up after this pandemic for sure. It may take a while, but it's definitely going to be worth it.
I think so too, and I think a lot of times at this point we're trying to really deal with some unresolved trauma.
Absolutely.
That have put us in the state that we're in now. So it's work. That's really what it is. We just got to keep working. Keep pushing. It's never been easy, and definitely the pandemic has not made it easier, but it definitely has given you time to look at yourself. If you don't look in the mirror now, something wrong with you.
Precisely, because that's really all you got to do.
You ain't got a lot else to do. So
that's all you got to do.
Yeah, you better take some time to reflect. That's one of the biggest things right now. All right, so we're at the part of the interview is the last will and testament. And that's where we kind of leave something with the people for inspiration. We wish you could do a dance piece, but that's not going to work today.
Not today, no.
Not today. So
you could do it. We just won't. I mean,
we won't see it.
We'll just hear the movements and the rustling. A lot of shuffling.
Right.
So, but we rather hear your voice because you're more than able to give us a great some inspiration. So give your jewel to the people. Bo the model.
All right, so this is Bo the Dawn coming at you live, and I just want you all to remember that living in the past is not your best friend right now. I want everybody to continue to look forward and continue to grow up because we're now at the bottom, and that's the only direction left.
Awesome. G.
Bo, thank you so much for joining us here on Black Box Radio. We
Thank
really
you
appreciate
so much for having me.
Absolutely. We appreciate your perspective and your willingness to share your unique experience with our community here.
This was fun. Y'all fun. Like this.
If you're listening right now and you enjoyed the conversation that we just had, then you can hear more from the Rona Report and Black Box Radio by visiting blackboxradio.com. That's BLAKBOXXRADIO.com. There you can find all of the conversations from the Rona Report, as well as every interview we've done going all the way back to 9/19/19. You can also find Black Box Radio on Facebook and Instagram at Black Box Radio, and find us on Twitter at Box Black. That's BOXXBLAK. If you're hearing this right now, we need your help. The platforms are suppressing this content, so not everyone is able to hear it and see it. So please share it with your friends and family. Text out the link, just so that everyone has an opportunity to hear these important voices.
Yep, box up for the Rona Report.
We have
it. Yes, it is 4/29/20, and we got Bo the dog. I was like Bo the model. Now it's Bo the dog.
Bo the Dawn, yes, ma'am.
Oh, Bo the
Dawn.
Oh,
the Dawn. The Dawn, yes, ma'am.
I love it. Bo the Dawn. Okay, we move the model going. We're gonna move on. Bo the Dawn.
She leveled up. That's all. She leveled up. It was something slight.
Always leveled up. We love to be in her company, but we really appreciate you bringing your perspective to the Rona Report. We just so inspiring, and keep doing the good work in the community and stay safe out there.
Thank you so much. Same to you guys.
All right, this is the Rona Report. It's 4/29/20. Bo the Dawn. This is Black Box Radio. We out. Peace.